I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me stop. Let me stop. How y'all doing today, man? Where y'all watching from? Where in the world are you? Let's pray for peace to reign in the world. Let's pray for good sense to prevail on all sides. Let's pray that no more lives are lost in this season. Or as, minimal lives are lost as possible in this season. Let's pray some sort of amicable resolution happens. Let's pray for, what is this? What? What the hell is going on? What kind of chain reaction? What am I listening to? I just connect, my box just connected. Am I listening to mommy's phone? Mommy, I hear phone, I listen to a while ago. It sound like it, yes. Like something we listen to on YouTube. Anyway, welcome guys, welcome. Bless you all. Let's get into this, man. Mark Jefferson Golding. Big salute, sir. Mark Jefferson Golding has been consistent, ladies and gentlemen. I want to first point that out. He has been very, very active. He has been leading from the front. And, I think he's answering the call of many out there that have been, pretty much saying to him, a lot of people out there have been pretty much saying to the Prime Minister, saying to Mark Jefferson Golding, listen, we need to hear more from you. We need for you to turn it up. And of course, what I'm seeing from him in the last few weeks is him turning it up. We see where he pretty much called on the investigative bodies to investigate Daryl Vaz in relations to the buses, the old bus them. Yeah, man, we not stop talking about the old bus them. We not stop talking about how Daryl Vaz waste $1.4 billion to buy some old bus and then come round back and I talk about, oh, you might go buy a new bus. When Bina tell him, say, bad man, buy some new bus, we don't have a problem. With the youth, them I get safe bus to go to school. Why are you buying old damn buses? Buses where Will Rattigan a $1 I'm spend feet for one of them. 2010. No refitting needed. $1 US. But you spend an average of $12 million per 110 old bus. I want not even get all that bus them. Marky G said, no, listen, I've looked into this. And we need to get some investigations done into this. Something is not right here. Something is fundamentally wrong. And hey, listen, I don't usually do, my man, the Charles Barkley on sports, guarantee, me not guarantee nothing. I'm saying, this thing smells like corruption. It looks like corruption. It moves like corruption. And of course, it quacks like corruption. So, hey, I would not be surprised that after a thorough investigation, one by one they'll be going to jail. I would not be surprised. It is time for some surcharges and some money to come out of some people's bank account. The various bank account number them have, yeah man. A time for some serious money to come out of them bank account. This is a side thing because I'm looking at my other screen and this is very distracting. Ladies with the twig legs. Listen, ladies, you already know that you don't have, you ain't got no thick thighs. You know what I'm saying? Your legs look like this. What is going on with these rear ends? coming from that. I need y'all to take a picture of yourself, a side view, and, you know, more importantly, the ones that have not done it yet, that have not embarrassed themselves in putting on these fake, you know, stuff on their body and not loving themselves, please learn from the ones that have. Voice of Jamaica, big up yourself. Please learn from the ladies that have embarrassed themselves already. Do not embarrass yourself. Love yourself, ladies. All right? I'm telling you, men are amazing, especially if you find a good one. All right? Men will love you with your flaws. Because what? He focused on the good stuff. Feel me? All you got to do is keep putting out the good stuff. Don't worry about it. Ain't nobody need no woman with no ass from here to Timbuktu, bro. Most men can't handle that. I don't know why y'all be thinking that you need to have a big bonk bonk. No. Love yourself, ladies. We love you. You feel what I'm saying? Love yourself, man. You don't need no big bonk bonk, bro. Come on, man. There's a saying in Jamaica that every hole got a stick of bush. There's somebody out there for everybody. Work on your relationship with God and everything else will fall into place. Love yourself. Stop it. Man, I be seeing these ladies, bro, with this is their leg, right? And this is their ass. Yeah, you can't see it because it's like that. Jetline, what's up? What that, man? If you don't go love yourself somewhere. Anyway, back to this. So shout out to Mr. Mark Golden. He put out a video this morning. That's what sparked this live stream, among some other articles that I'm going to share with you guys. Let's go. Let's get into it.
Greetings. Today I want to talk a bit about the structure of the Jamaican state, how it works, how government works. Now, the basic document that governs all of this is called In the Affairs. Greetings.
Yes.
Today I want to talk a bit about the structure of the Jamaican state.
Right.
How it works, how government works.
Right.
Now, the basic document that governs all of this is called the Constitution. It's a document that came into existence in 1962 or thereabouts. And it sets out the structure of our government. And this, we have what's called a tripartite structure, where you have the legislature, which is Parliament. In our case, Garden House is a physical structure on Duke Street, which has two chambers. The upper house, which is the Senate, which is 21 senators, 13 appointed by the Prime Minister, 8 by the Leader of the Opposition, and that never changes. And then you have the House of Representatives, 63 seats. And of course, the decision as to who occupies those seats is made by the people when they vote in general elections. The government of the day, by definition, has a majority of the seats in the House. And the opposition, by definition, has the minority in the House. Sometimes that majority is big, as it was in 2020's Parliament. Sometimes it's quite small, as it is now, since the 2025 election. Now, the executive is the second branch I want to discuss, which is the cabinet that heads it, comprised of the ministers appointed by the Prime Minister to sit in the cabinet. The cabinet is the decision maker on policy, and underneath the cabinet sits the entire structure of the civil service, the public bodies, and day-to-day decisions and the management of the affairs of the country sit under that structure, which is the executive structure. The opposition is not part of that structure. We have no say in those decisions and the management of the country by the executive branch.
Very important. Let's play that back. Because sometimes we go at the opposition, not understanding the limits of the opposition's power. So it's important that we understand that as a country here in Jamaica, a people. So let me play that back. That's important. The cabinet, right here.
The cabinet that heads it, comprised of the ministers appointed by the Prime Minister to sit in the cabinet. The cabinet is the decision maker on policy. And underneath the cabinet sits the entire structure of the civil service, the public bodies, and day-to-day decisions and the management of the affairs of the country sit under that structure, which is the executive structure. The opposition is not part of that structure. We have no say in those decisions and the management of the country by the executive branch. Notionally, the head of state, which in our case is still the monarch in England, is the notional head of state, but the cabinet is the entity that decides the policy of the country and how money is spent and so on once it's approved by Parliament in the annual budget. The legislature is the one that passes laws, including the annual budget, which is itself a law called the Appropriation Act. The third branch is the judiciary, which is a court system. In Jamaica, there's several levels to that. There's the lay magistrates at the base of the system, dealing with relatively minor cases. Then there's the parish courts, which are the bulk of the cases in the country are dealt with at the parish court level. Then you have the Supreme Court, which itself has 3 levels. The first instance judges, who typically hear cases on their own. Sometimes they will sit in a group of 3. Then there's the Court of Appeal, which sits above them and hears appeals from their decisions. And then finally, there's the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, which sits in London, which is something that was established after the abolition of slavery and still remains our highest court. And that's a somewhat controversial matter in Jamaica, as you know. So the people are the most important aspect of all of this.
Listen.
Because ultimately, it is the people who decide who sits in the Parliament, in the House of Representatives, and everything flows from that. Because that then determines who is the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister is the leader of the majority in the Parliament. Who's the leader of the opposition? That's the person who is the leader of the minority in the Parliament. They then appoint the senators. The Prime Minister appoints the ministers, who form the cabinet, and so on. So the people have a tremendous say in this. And that's why it's so important for people to show an interest and educate themselves about public affairs and what's happening in the country, because you can advocate for change. You can put pressure on your member of parliament or on other organizations that have influence. If you see something not being done that you think ought to be done, or something that's happening that you think should change or stop. So your power is real, and although it's only exercised in the form of a vote, typically once every 4 or 5 years. And that's a very important moment, of course, because that forms everything for the next period of 4 or 5 years after that election. But in between, you can also influence what happens in Parliament, because the elected representatives are mindful of what their citizens are saying, because ultimately they're accountable to their citizens the next time the country goes to the polls. So don't underestimate the power of your voice and of your advocacy and of your interest in the affairs of the country. Pressure is real in a democracy, and any government and any opposition has to be mindful and adjust its positions based on the mood and feeling of the people that we represent. So I hope you found this little discussion useful, and of course it's just a summary, but I think it's important that people understand the basic structure of how our system works. One love.
All right. So quickly, just listening to that, right? I appreciate what Mr. Mark Golden did in this video, because what I heard from that is you, the people of Jamaica, need to understand the power that you hold. It's not just your vote. It's not just your vote, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just that one time you vote. You can put significant pressure on the government in regards to certain issues. Case in point, one of us say Andrew Honest run out the other day because of the pressures of the people of Jamaica and the wider society, Caribbean and otherwise, looking at him in regards to, so you're not saying nothing about Cuba. You know what I mean? It looked bad. He was backed into a corner, you know. Andrew was backed into a corner when you see him advocate on behalf of Cuba. Him never have no choice. It looked too bad. He had to toe the line, ladies, and that's why him have issues with the congressman and maybe other people in the United States that look upon him sideways. Because he was not consistent when it comes on to that particular argument. Because remember him saying where the Cuban doctor them and our medical apparatus here in Jamaica is severely weakened after that and was already in crisis. So it was further crisis, you understand? So I appreciate Mr. Golden coming out and saying to we the people that, yo, listen, you guys have a lot of power, you know. Utilize your power. Get educated about what is actually happening in your country. Don't just jump up when election time come and talk about show labor right and comrade and them something there. And you're not really in tune to what is actually going on day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, that is affecting the society. Right? New taxes coming out. Educate yourself. Right? If you don't have the knowledge about something, there's certain options you have, you know. One, seek the people that have the knowledge, that have the experience, listen to what they're saying, research based off what they're saying, and educate yourself about what they said to you. Don't just take them word for it. Go look it up. Go dig. Show some interest, ladies and gentlemen, in your own country's progress or situation. Because you might need some improvement because there's a lack of progress. You understand? Andrew Honest was screaming at the top of his lung about this when he was in opposition. You should raise your voice in concert against the government. Well, Mr. Mark Golden is saying, understand the structure of government. Understand the power that the opposition have. Because a lot of the things that I hear people saying the opposition should do, it's really outside of their power to do. You understand what I say? If people them unreasonable, some of the people them unreasonable, you guys are looking for a savior, but you don't want to actively go out there to contribute to saving yourself. You want everybody else to sacrifice all of these things, but you don't want to go and make your voices be heard. At least, you won't even do a TikTok video, bro. TikTok is the easiest thing for go up and go. Listen, you know, I have looked into this and this and that and that and that, right? And honestly, I believe that this is the direction that the government should go, because we as a people, my experience is book the book. Those things can be used as leverage, you know, as a poll, you know, to see where the people are, you know. And if you want to be more organized, you understand, you have a Andre Stevens, you have a Marvin Edgar, right? Mama Son, we organize, you know, organize peaceful protests in key issues that them advocate on behalf. And all Jamaicans are entitled to that right, to raise their voices in concert. You feel me I deal with? All of us have that right. So, Mark Golding came out here. I'm going to play it again. Because this is Civics 101. And I have to say big shout out to Mr. Willie Rattigan and his platform. They have been pushing civics. You understand? They have been pushing it hard. He has been educating us about many different things in regards to how things actually work in our government. And it's important. And we need younger people to participate. Right? Because this is why a kleptocratic government like dunce people, you know. They like uneducated people. Right? You're not going to see them push this. What Mark Golding does. You're not going to see it. I'm telling you. You're not going to see that. The for them thing is, shower labor right, just have faith in us. And everything we say, yay! I want to see how PMP, although not the government, I want to see how much pressure PMP supporters put the PMP leadership under, and they don't have control over the government. They are not the government. And the PMP people want Mark Golding to operate as the Prime Minister while in opposition. But let's try to show you the pressure where them put them under. It's very unfair, but it is what it is. I'm just, you know, this is a difference. The JLP supporter them don't hold the government accountable, while the PMP supporter them hold the opposition over excessive accountability. Standards are different, ladies and gentlemen.
Greetings. Today I want to talk about the structure of the Jamaican state.
Yes.
How it works, how government works. Now, the basic document that governs all of this is called the Constitution.
Right.
It's a document that came into existence in 1962 or thereabouts. And it sets out the structure of our government. And we have what's called a tripartite structure, where you have the legislature, which is Parliament. In our case, Garden House is a physical structure on Duke Street, which has two chambers. The upper house, which is the Senate, which is 21 senators, 13 appointed by the Prime Minister, 8 by the leader of the opposition, and that never changes. And then you have the House of Representatives, 63 seats. And of course, the decision as to who occupies those seats is made by the people when they vote in general elections. And the government of the day, by definition, has a majority of the seats in the House. And the opposition, by definition, has the minority in the House. Sometimes that majority is big, as it was in 2020's Parliament. Sometimes it's quite small, as it is now, since the 2025 election. Now, the executive is the second branch I want to discuss, which is the cabinet that heads it, comprised of the ministers appointed by the Prime Minister to sit in the cabinet. The cabinet is the decision maker on policy, and underneath the cabinet sits the entire structure of the civil service, the public bodies, and day-to-day decisions and the management of the affairs of the country sit under that structure, which is the executive structure. The opposition is not part of that structure. We have no say in those decisions and the management of the country by the executive branch. Nope.
So even when Mark Golding and the People's National Party are in the Parliament and they're debating on policies and stuff like that, at the end of the day, yeah, they are not the decision makers. They only can advocate on behalf strongly for the people of Jamaica in regards to a lot of things that they see is like, wait a minute, why are you guys doing this? It's better if you did this. And you see them go back and forth in these debates. Because it's important. It's actually important for them to do that. But that's what they're there for. Outside of that, though, when it comes on to the affairs of what happened in Parliament, you and me have to keep an eye on it. Because sometimes we have to raise our voice in concert and say, no, 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 no. Listen, that's what Marvin Egger is talking about right now. You know? A protest, a peaceful, stand higher yard protest, demanding, and a list of demands are things that we demand the government to do. And based off the government's response, you, the people of Jamaica, have to be serious. Because if you're not serious, they're not going to take you serious. You understand what I'm saying? I believe it's a time where for us to remind them that, yo, bad man, we have the power. We are the government. You are the government representative. You represent us. So here where we want. This. The Alvars need to resign. That the man need to resign. And Jonas need to go. The Marissa Dalrymple, the Speaker of the House need to go sit down somewhere. Me know my demands them. What are yours, ladies and gentlemen? And let's see if our demands align. That's how we have to do it. You have to get serious. You have to get involved. When you can't just stand on the sideline and they talk about, yo, the two government, them the days they done, bro. Them the days they done. Me see all you guys see I keep town hall meeting. What are you talking about? If you're not serious, you get involved. The UIC is still active. So if you not truly not like the two government, now may I talk about the 50% of people that will never vote. Only may I talk to. If you not truly don't rate the two government them, the two party them, PNP and JLP, bad man you not have a third option, you not also have independent candidates. You not have no excuse to get involved in the political process that is so important that affects our day-to-day life, literally. There's no excuses. Period. Get up and get involved. Young people, get up and get involved. It is too important. September 3rd showed us we were this close to having first in the family getting scholarship. We were this close in having housing trust do what it's supposed to do and not have the government take away the $11.4 billion put in our budget. We were that close to having 50,000 affordable house. We were that close to getting $500,000 grants for persons between the ages of 18 and 40. Grants to pay down on a house that of your choice. You're not going to pay about the 500,000, you know. We were so close to have the land portion of the house that when NHT built, the value of that removed from the value of the house to increase land ownership. We were so close from taking the years from 60 something years to 25 years if you're on the land, you can claim and own the land. We were that close on September 3rd. For that type of change that would have affected everybody in such a positive way. Not just comrades, everybody. And because of a lack of education, here we are stuck with this wicked government. It is imperative, ladies and gentlemen, that you educate yourself. It is imperative. You have a responsibility. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. You have a responsibility. Because you see, when you educate yourself with the truth, of course, because if you educate yourself with the lie, it's going to be counterproductive. When you educate yourself with the truth of the matter, you get empowered. Your conviction is on solid ground. The Bible talk about building your house on a solid rock. Building your family on solid rock. Your foundation in everything that you do should be on solid ground. You can't build your foundation upon sand, sinking sand, you're going to perish. And right now, we in at this stage of perishing right now in Jamaica because we made a terrible decision on September 3rd. A terrible decision as a country. And I'm talking to everybody because the people when they vote will affect it too. People them slung in the yard and decide say them not going to vote. You guys affected it as well. You're eligible to vote, but you didn't vote. Some of you got paid to sit down and not vote. A crying shame. Embarrassing situation. But these are the realities. You guys know what I'm talking about because you don't know. You don't see it happen. People get paid to vote against the other party and then vote against the other party. Some people get paid for turn of the yard and vote because they know so they're not going to vote for JLP. I want to turn on the yard, I want to don't vote. How's that working out for you guys? What you have to do now is forgive yourself. And you have to go repent. And now do the right thing. Can't sell out your morals and your ethics, bro. You understand? Can't sell out. You can't sell out them. You can't sell out your kids them future for 15 grand or 20 grand. Sell out 5 years of your life for that. Just think about it. 5 years of your life, you took $25,000, $20,000, $15,000, $10,000. If you give up 5 years of your life, we have to come out of that the culture there. Jamaica cannot progress with that type of nonsense. There's no way. There's no way. You have to think about it, you know. What incentive do you give the politicians them to actually work on your behalf when you cheat yourself in that manner? Sure, me can just give them $5,000 and $10,000 man and one shirt. Come a party headquarters, man, I will drink some food and eat some, you know. We drink some liquor and eat some food and sip some soup and party and niceness and there's an audio I have on my platform. The man says, let me play it. The man talk about two type of people. Politicians and other people. Let me find it. Hold on, them people. Hold on there. Where there? Let me audio then there. No sir. Not PMP baptism. Where is it? What can go so? No, that's not it. Audio clips. I think it's right here. Politicians. I don't want to misquote what he said because it's so important. What he said. Let's open this. Let me just open this. Darren Vaz tapping nice. Don't ball out. Tired of the labor rights. Hit the like button. Applause, top line. Embarrassing. What can go so laugh? Boom. Archive press. Background. Alright, cool. See the audio now?
Never believe that a politician is a leader.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
Because the system that we have produces politicians.
Right.
It doesn't produce leaders.
Right.
And so you can have a politician who knows nothing about leadership and he's leading you. Politicians are concerned about the next election. That's all they're interested in. That's why they cannot be leaders. But leaders are different. Leaders are concerned about the next generation. I want you to compare those two thoughts the next time you...
Want to hear that? Leaders are worried about the next generations. Politicians are worried about the next election. One wants to maintain power while the other wants to give power to the people. You guys have to decipher the difference. It's that simple, you know. It's that simple. Which government wants to empower the people? And which government wants to empower themselves? What did Diaspora say? Give me 5 more years so my grandparent, my grandpitney and my pitney can live in Jamaica like how I live in Jamaica. Who remember that? You remember that? Hey, let me tell you something, man. These people telling themselves here, I don't need to start. I don't need to start. I don't need to start believe them when them tell upon themselves. Don't make no excuse to them. Listen careful to what they're saying, Jamaica. Even the devil tell the truth sometimes. You never know.
Have a politician come to your house wanting to vie for your vote. Just ask him, what is your vision for my children?
Ooh. How many of you have asked that of your politicians then? Ever. I mean ever. Ever. How many of you have asked of your politicians then, what plans do you have for my children? What's the vision you have for my children? Or are you a selfish individual that's just thinking about yourself and the moment? You know, so right now, more this, dig off a piece of food off of that politician and give me food. Right now, you know, so more this. And if I stick close to that politician here, boy, he can open some door for me. Jermina, what's up? Are you selfish or are you thinking about the next generation? That is the question. That's the question.
I will sit and listen for 20 minutes for you to tell me what it is. He will leave your house.
What you say?
Because he has no
Say that again, my boss.
Who knows nothing about leadership, and he's leading you. Politicians are concerned about the next election. That's all they're interested in. That's why they cannot be leaders. But leaders are different. Leaders are concerned about the next generation. I want you to compare those two thoughts the next time you have a politician come to your house wanting to vie for your vote. Just ask him, what is your vision for my children? I will sit and listen for 20 minutes for you to tell me what it is. He will leave your house.
So, if a politician, that's a very good question to ask a politician, you know. If that politician truly has no vision for your children, trust me, he's not going to be able to make it up. You're going to be able to hear and see through whatever it is he's saying. If he truly has a vision for your children, you're going to know it based off what he's saying. You know who I know have a vision for our children, which is not my member of parliament? Isaac Buchanan. If I'm not sure about anything, I'm sure about. I'm not say what the part I want them have vision for the children. But you see, Isaac Buchanan, I'm telling you, real thought. You see, Damien Crawford, real thought. Marky G, real thought put into our children. I don't want to start naming names, but yo, it's socialist them, I saw them meds. Because education is the first thing. And when they talk about education, they're focusing on kids mostly because they're more receptive. And you still want the elder them to keep in study. But some of the time they're stubborn, so you focus more upon the kids them. You understand what I say? Yeah. Because them easier for mold. Jeremy, not true?
Because he has no interest in your children's children. His concern is to stay in power.
That is it.
To keep the position.
Yes.
To win the next election.
Yes.
This is why they cannot lead. When you are going to have a conversation with a politician, you should actually try this as a test. You, by the way, as a citizen of a community, you have a right to be seen by the mayor. I hope you know that. If you voted for a mayor, the mayor works for you. Therefore, you have a right to see him. You can make an appointment to see any public officer you voted for. Did you know that? That's your legal right. If he don't want to see you, you can take him to court. That's democracy. So I want you to make an appointment to go and see a mayor or go and see a governor and just say, I want 30 minutes with you, sir. And ask him about that list right there. And sir, what is your purpose for being in leadership in this city? What is your purpose? The first question will make him very nervous. Second question, what is your passion?
What is your purpose for being in leadership? Again, another question that's it's going to be hard for most of them to lie about. If you have any intuitive insight, you're going to see through the facade if they're lying to you. But those are very good questions to ask politicians. What is your purpose for becoming a politician? Whatever plans they have and their real passion is going to come out. That's a fact. It is going to come out, ladies and gentlemen. All right?
For our community. He'll be wondering what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I just want to build roads and bridges and provide jobs. No. What is your passion? And this is why we need to question the leaders we have. And so I have a little thought here. I call it politics versus leadership. Let's talk about it for a second. Number one, politicians focus on programs, not vision. Number two, politicians' priority is securing the next election, not securing the next generation. Their focus is different. Number three, politicians are preoccupied with promises, not purpose.
You hear that?
What we need is statesmen.
Politicians are preoccupied with promises. Dang. Man, that's tough, bro. That's tough.
The first question will make him very nervous. Second question, what is your passion for our community? He'll be wondering what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I just want to build roads and bridges and provide jobs. No. What is your passion? And this is why we need to question the leaders we have. And so I have a little thought here. I call it politics versus leadership. Let's talk about it for a second. Number one, politicians focus on programs, not vision.
Programs, not vision.
Number two, politicians' priority is securing the next election, not securing the next generation.
Uno see JLP a campaign for the next election already. Local government and others. Every day them campaign, but them, September 3rd gone already. Come like them name remember that. Every day them campaign. Every station them go on, every time them talk, them campaigning. Every single time. Don't let them fool you. They're not busy about the next generation. They're not busy about securing the next generation and having vision. They're not busy about that. Busy about what?
Because it's different. Number three, politicians are preoccupied with promises, not purpose. What we need is statesmen. Statesmen. We don't need more politicians. A statesman is an interesting human. A statesman think of the next generation.
You hear that? A statesman think of the next generation. You remember when Daryl Voss said this?
As a parliamentarian, as a Jamaican, as a father, as a grandfather, I want to see Jamaica get 5 more years so that I know that my children and my grandchildren can live in this country and enjoy the country as I did. God bless you. Shower, shower, shower. My support as a parliamentarian, as a Jamaican, as a father, as a grandfather, I want to see Jamaica get 5 more years so that I know that my children and my grandchildren can live in this country and enjoy the country as I did. God bless you. Shower, shower, shower.
So, according to Daryl Vaz, he want Jamaica get 5 more years of JLP. So Fiend Pitney them can live in a country like how him did. Not your Pitney, you know. Fiend Pitney. Not my word. Fiend word Jamaica. Him says so and me says so. Him is a politician, he's not a statesman. He doesn't care about the collective. And a lot of them are like that. They don't care about the collective of the Jamaican people. They care about them own self, them pocket and feed them family pocket. They don't care about the people. And them actions scream and tell you say, them not care about the people. You feel me I deal with? And at the end of the day, we the people have to understand the power we have to affect change. You feel me I say? Some people have to turn politician, brother, or become leaders, I should say. Because we have to train them how to treat we, you know. We have to train them how we want them to govern things so we. Constant communication and consultation with the people is necessary when you're going to make big decisions. A big decision like taxation upon the things that my poor people use the most. And then them try to use an argument, say, you know, them a try to make things healthier. Lie them a tell. Healthier, we need healthier. We need to be healthier. We need to eat the right thing. But guess what? You have to improve the people in life for them can afford healthier. The things that are more accessible is the things that will kill the people. Them. Rice, flour, sugar. When the people don't have no money and can't maneuver and them rent so high, them can't even afford a house if they have ambition. $20 million for 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom and them something there. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? You have to call a spade, brethren. The man them not even secure our food. Not even with food they not secure. As a matter of fact, because right now I freestyle, I'm not even getting an article them yet. Right now I get flowing now. Let me go to this. Let me go to this because I want to need to remember this. And this is not my word. Mumsy, Mummy, you can pass the computer for me next one because more something.
No!
And the charger. Listen to this.
I see your voice start going. They'll come down to the club. Down in the yards and land with them. Up in the man's plane. I'm going to fix the onion business. Because let me tell you something. St. Thomas is a natural. No. When we fix the county situation, up in the sea of Ireland, I see the voice start going. They'll come down to the club. They hear me. I talk about the Palestine where I made the permit for bringing the agricultural produce. Even one of them.
have the largest cold storage facility in Jamaica. Member of Parliament for St. Thomas, I him talk about. You remember that? According to Mr. William, the man said, this man is manipulating the onion market. And the farmer them, I get liquor for nothing because them I buy up his stuff them from him. How can we allow a politician to be in government and do that to the people of Jamaica? How can we allow that? In Jamaica, Celine, what's up? East Portland in our building, Verna Wagwan. Just I see the messenger. Right? How can we allow that? Matthew, how you doing? Dorothy, what's up? How can we allow that? Mankind are going to be mankind, you know. Mankind are going to be wicked, you know. But when the wicked is in leadership, God don't give we blueprint already if you remove them, you know. Not true. So how we are waiting for? Let me just take off this off of this, my people. Yeah, man, I'm going to change over the computer. You see me? I have the same article over here, so I'm more have to share. Just give me a second. Switcheroo. Switcheroo. Calm down, calm down. On to this. How can we allow that to happen in our country? And I am truly disappointed in the Jamaican people, you know. I'm disappointed in now, man. With all of the things them that the People's National Party revealed, confirmed to be true, that is happening under the Jamaica Labour Party. Only still voting back these people. You see, if it happens to St. Thomas, you know, it happened to all the way. If it happened to St. Anne, it happened to all the way. If it happened to St. Mary, it happened to all the way. If it happened to East Portland, West Portland, St. Andrew, Westmoreland, if it happened to any one of us, it happened to all of us. That's the mentality you need to have. So if you have a government that allows... Yeah, hello? Hello? Yeah.
Bless up, man.
My life, you know.
Yeah, man. You make a mistake, man. You
What?
don't quote them in, man.
Eh?
Good, man. I'm going to tell the TV, man, the TV, man. And then I'm like, man.
Me stand corrected, my boss. Me stand corrected. Me stand corrected, my general. Me stand... Big up yourself, my boss. Yeah. What you say? Oh, you will on the man. You want to man them when need to have one affidavit out. What you say, go on?
Yeah. Greetings. Today I want to talk a bit about...
So man them have a van load of money and just give out to people to vote for them. Mighty God. Respect me, general. Manners and respect. Wow. People hear that? Not my word. Man say when there's a van load of money. It's a van load of money. The man them The man them have and give out money to people for vote in an election time. You know. Hey. Mighty God.
Structure of the Jamaican state, how it works, how government works. Now, the basic document that governs all of this is called the Constitution. It's a document that came into existence in 1962 or thereabouts. And it sets out the structure of our government. And we have what's called a tripartite structure, where you have the legislature, which is Parliament. In our case, Garden House is a physical structure on Duke Street, which has two chambers. The upper house, which is the Senate, which is 21 senators, 13 appointed by the Prime Minister, 8 by the leader of the opposition, and that never changes. And then you have the House of Representatives, 63 seats. And of course, the decision as to who occupies those seats is made by the people when they vote in general elections. The government of the day, by definition, has a majority of the seats in the House. And the opposition, by definition, has the minority in the House. Sometimes that majority is big, as it was in 2020's Parliament. Sometimes it's quite small, as it is now, since the 2025 election. Now, the executive is the second branch I want to discuss, which is the cabinet that heads it, comprised of the ministers appointed by the Prime Minister to sit in the cabinet. The cabinet is the decision maker on policy, and underneath the cabinet sits the entire structure of the civil service, the public bodies, and day-to-day decisions and the management of the affairs of the country sit under that structure, which is the executive structure. The opposition is not part of that structure. We have no say in those decisions and the management of the country by the executive branch. Notionally, the head of state, which in our case is still the monarch in England, is the notional head of state, but the cabinet is the entity that decides the policy of the country and how money is spent and so on, once it's approved by Parliament in the annual budget. The legislature is the one that passes laws, including the annual budget, which is itself a law called the Appropriation Act. The third branch is the judiciary, which is a court system. In Jamaica, there's several levels to that. There's the lay magistrates at the base of the system, dealing with relatively minor cases. Then there's the parish courts, which are the bulk of the cases in the country are dealt with at the parish court level. Then you have the Supreme Court, which itself has 3 levels. The first instance judges, who typically hear cases on their own. Sometimes they will sit in a group of 3. Then there's the Court of Appeal, which sits above them and hears appeals from their decisions. And then finally, there's the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, which sits in London, which is something that was established after the abolition of slavery and still remains our highest court. And that's a somewhat controversial matter in Jamaica, as you know. So the people are the most important aspect of all of this, because ultimately it is the people who decide who sits in the Parliament, in the House of Representatives, and everything flows from that. Because that then determines who is the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister is the leader of the majority in the Parliament. Who's the leader of the opposition? That's the person who is the leader of the minority in the Parliament. They then appoint the senators. The Prime Minister appoints the ministers, who form the cabinet, and so on. So the people have a tremendous say in this. And that's why it's so important for people to show an interest and educate themselves about public affairs and what's happening in the country, because you can advocate for change. You can put pressure on your member of Parliament or on other organizations that have influence. If you see something not being done that you think ought to be done, or something that's happening that you think should change or stop. So your power is real, and although it's only exercised in the form of a vote, typically once every 4 or 5 years, and that's a very important moment, of course, because that forms everything for the next period of 4 or 5 years after that election. But in between, you can also influence what happens in Parliament, because the elected representatives are mindful of what their citizens are saying, because ultimately they're accountable to their citizens the next time the country goes to the polls. So don't underestimate the power of your voice and of your advocacy and of your interest in the affairs of the country. Pressure is real in a democracy, and any government and any opposition has to be mindful and adjust its positions based on the mood and feeling of the people that we represent. So I hope you found this little discussion useful. And of course, it's just a summary, but I think it's important that people understand the basic structure of how our system works. One love.
The pressure is real in a democracy. The pressure is real in a democracy. You, we, me and you, the people of Jamaica, are the ones that ultimately have the rod of correction for all the government accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, start take out on the rod now, man. Pause. Start take out on the rod. This a government that will only get corrected about. So I don't know who now wait for. Anyway, moving on. Big up Mark Golding. The PMP-YO stands firm in solidarity with Cuba, defends Jamaica's sovereignty. Alright? And this is no surprise because, of course, the People's National Party has always stood firm with Cuba.
People's National Party Youth Organization, PMPYO, says it stands in full solidarity with the people of Cuba and welcomes the call for humanitarian assistance at this critical time. As the Cuban people face severe economic and social challenges, the provision of humanitarian aid is not a political act, it is a moral one. Jamaica has always upheld the principles of regional cooperation, human dignity, and mutual respect among nations. Extending support to our Caribbean neighbors, particularly Cuba, reflects the spirit of solidarity that has long defined our region.
Right.
The opposition's youth arm also condemned the reported threat made by a U.S. senator against Jamaica.
Aye.
Related, U.S. congressman condemns Holness statement on Cuba, threatens consequences. Such statements, the PNPYO argued, whether explicit or implied, undermine the principles of diplomacy, mutual respect, and international cooperation. Jamaica's foreign policy decisions must be guided by its national interest, its regional commitments, and its humanitarian principles, not by external pressure or intimidation.
Wait a moment. So even the PMP-YO has come out condemning the U.S. congressman in defense of the Prime Minister. Imagine that. Do you guys think that you will ever see the JLP youth arm come in defense of Mark Golding? That will never happen. It shows you the difference in leadership, ladies and gentlemen. Chuck's Beauty 78, big up. Georgia, how are you doing? It shows you the difference in what? Leadership. PNP is not afraid to stand up on what is right. They're not afraid to do it, Jamaica. They are not afraid, even if they are defending the Prime Minister. Because it is what it is. The truth is just the truth, and it shall set you free. You understand? But saying that and saying all of that, I believe that Andrew Jonas was backed in a corner where that speech is concerned. I also think there's some hidden strategy, coordinated strategy. And of course, I got an update from one of my good sisters at for the press. Warning, American citizens or who live in US, an advisory was set not to travel to these countries due to the leader of cartel being unalived last week. This is coming from Trump's administration. Now, let me just say that this is alleged, please. Let me say that this is alleged. So what this is saying is, travel advisory for Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Cuba, Jamaica, Bahamas, Haiti. They're allegedly telling their citizens, don't go to these places. Now, I have to go back to Cliff Hughes talking about, Trump will just take away your visa. Cliff Hughes, you want to retract that statement? I feel like playing it in a man. Cliff Hughes said the Prime Minister was very skillful in his position with Israel at the UN. He didn't take a hard stance. Because, of course, you don't want to go against Israel because, USA supports Israel. And, you don't want a situation where them take away the Jamaican people's visa. And that would mean that, of course, you would jeopardize keeping power. We say Jamaica not in the Middle East, Marcia. Do you remember that after the Caribbean meeting, only 2 countries was invited to sit with the US? Jamaica was not included. If this is true, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't. Andrew Honest is not the one. He's compromised. That's what I'm saying today in our rock and a hard place. It better if him never talk about it. Because he never support Cuba before. When the USA when I tell him to get rid of the doctor them. Him should have take a stance from there, so. Good morning, Daniel. Grace and peace be multiplied. Same to you. And same to everybody on the platform. Yes. Remember say him never did stand up for the Cuban them and stand up for the Jamaican people at that point. We needed those doctors. We needed their service. Me telling you, every leader is supposed to do what? Do what is best and in the best interest of who? His people. Sassy D, what's up, love? Andrew never did that. If Andrew did do that, we could have respect it. He never do it. What was in the best interest of our people was to keep the Cuban doctors here. Period. But when you are compromised, when you are a politically exposed person, he could not take that stand. He must bow and yield to the United States. Him never stand up for Venezuela. And you not stand up for nobody but him himself. Mighty God. And you not stand up for nobody but himself. Nobody. Nobody. And of course, you think China now watching? If you think that China now watch Andrew, you make a sad mistake. What say you do? You make a sad mistake. If you think that China now watch Andrew, China have a keen eye. Just like how America have a keen eye, China have a keen eye for everybody. Keen eye for everybody. So, you understand? Let me just tell you, the world has changed, Jamaica. This one true event for Iran, everything is changed. It's the manifestation of the change that you will see in due course. But everything has changed. Self-reliance is going to be very important. you're going to have a situation where you over this and we over here, so. And you better can help yourself. Things are going to become very tumultuous, very tense. You have power structure that is going to change. USA prophetically is going to lose their power over the entire world. Just look at the geopolitical climate. England is now, UK having talks with China. Well, they had talks already. Everybody is aligning themselves for their best interests. Nobody wants to be bullied. People might take up them sword to defend themselves if necessary. And of course, there's a flip side to everything, because I'm not a fool. And you shouldn't be a fool either. Some of these same countries that are screaming justice and we don't like bully, if given the opportunity, they will become bullies to the rest of the world. Because they want to impose their ideology on the rest of the world, as the United States has. So I've said this before. The power struggle between all parties needs to continue. When one party overthrows the other, it's not going to be good for anyone. I've been saying that. I ain't taking no sides. Hey, God we are dealing with. Yo, me say, one side get the upper hand over the other side, dog nyam with supper. It no go pretty. Either way, whether you look on it from that side or this side, everybody needs to respect each other and move forward. Alright, that's the thing there. Everybody needs to respect each other and move forward. Where is this clip? Where is this clip with what's his face? Ah, here it is. Good while now.
Pointing out, he's going to do a lot of damage, as he has been doing, a lot of damage. But Holness and Johnson Smith have to take care of Jamaica's best interest.
Only you know what I'm saying? Holness and Kamina Johnson Smith have to take care of Jamaica's best interest. What was Cliff was talking about? The UN meeting. That's what he was talking about. You see me? That's what he was talking about. See me can't put this right there, sir. People may try to organize myself here. Or reorganize. I was already organized. I'm trying to reorganize myself. Alright, so bear with me. Here we go. That's it.
While extending support and solidarity, remember that word? Solidarity with the people of Gaza and Palestine. But we can't do it in a way that is confrontational and adversarial. So this man was not given to anything but vengeance and transaction. And let me put it bluntly. You know, simply say, Jamaica, okay, we're going to take away the visas. Okay? And take away the Jamaican visa. Which government in Jamaica could survive if it is a situation where it is fraudulent because of the action or what you have said, you now occasion America taking away Jamaican's visa?
Yeah, what he said, which government could survive USA taking away the visa because the leader said something? So all Cliff Hughes was was what was important to Cliff Hughes was the visa and holding the JLP in power. That was his main focus. Listen, this was when did I post this? The uh the 6th of October 2025. Yeah, the 6th of October 2025.
Jamaicans with me. And there's a few things that we covet more than our precious American.
Yeah, there.
And he is quite prepared to use that. What is my take on it?
I am momentarily rendered speechless. And as I gather my thoughts, let me tell you why.
Mighty
I was
God.
momentarily rendered speechless. This man equated being cautious so as to one, keep political power, because if they stood up and did the right thing, which is walk out when Netanyahu was speaking, which is vote for peace when the vote was happening
Yes.
at the UN
Yes.
with the 193 countries,
Yes.
it could jeopardize Jamaicans' visa.
Yes.
So, in essence, Jamaican having a visa to go to the United States, in his purview, and JLP maintaining power as a political party is more important than taking a stance against what is wrong.
Yeah. Pretty much.
We come out. He's one of the
Pretty much, Bolo. Pretty much. That's pretty much what he's saying, man. Huh? Huh? The views are more important, bro. Remember good. Anyway, let's continue.
Intimidation. Jamaica has a proud history of principled foreign policy rooted in independence, regionalism, and the defense of small state sovereignty. As young leaders and patriots, we reaffirm our commitment to protecting Jamaica's right to engage in humanitarian efforts consistent with international law and Caribbean unity, said the PNPY. We call on all stakeholders, both locally and internationally, to prioritize humanitarian cooperation over political hostility and diplomacy over division. The PNPYO remains steadfast in defending Jamaica's sovereignty and in promoting solidarity across the Caribbean, the organization added. Cuba Government of Jamaica People's National Party Youth Organization. Comments. What to read next?
All right. Now, Denton Smith, inertia of good governance. Check this out.
In any healthy democracy, the responsibility for good governance does not rest solely with elected officials. It rests equally with the people. In Jamaica today, there is a worrying level of public disengagement from government actions and national issues.
Yes?
This indifference poses serious risks not only to accountability and development,
Right.
but also to the preservation of our hard-won rights and freedoms. When citizens fail to pay attention to legislative changes, budget decisions, and policy shifts, governments operate with less scrutiny. Important bills can be debated and passed with minimal public input. Procurement decisions, regulatory changes, and institutional reforms may proceed without robust questioning. In such an atmosphere, transparency weakens and the standard of governance declines.
You listening?
Democracy becomes a ritual of periodic voting rather than a continuous process of civic participation.
Civic!
Even more troubling is the danger this apathy presents to fundamental rights. Many of the freedoms Jamaicans now enjoy, freedom of expression, the right to vote, protections under the law, and safeguards against abuse of power, were not granted effortlessly. They were secured through struggle, advocacy, and sacrifice. History across the world has shown that rights, once taken for granted, can be gradually eroded when citizens are inattentive.
Facts.
Incremental restrictions, expanded state powers, or weakened oversight mechanisms may seem minor in isolation, but collectively they can undermine civil liberties. Public disengagement also creates fertile ground for misinformation and manipulation. When people are not actively following credible sources or engaging in informed discussion, narratives driven by partisan interest or social media speculation take hold. This weakens rational debate and deepens division, making it harder to build consensus around national priorities such as crime reduction, economic stability, healthcare reform, and education improvement. Additionally, apathy discourages younger generations from participating in civic life. If they perceive that governance happens without public involvement, they may conclude that their voices are irrelevant.
True.
Declining voter turnout, limited attendance at community meetings, and reduced advocacy weaken democratic culture over time. Good governance requires vigilance. Citizens must read beyond headlines, attend consultations, question inconsistencies, and demand accountability, regardless of which party forms the government. Silence is not neutrality, it is permission. If we value our democracy and the rights secured through decades of effort,
All our people are going to vote. Silence is not neutrality, it's permission. You've given this government permission to do what they want to do. And you're not actively involved in the process of holding them accountable, make it worse. So you double mash up the country with your silence. No look a joke about that. You hear me say? Play that again.
they are today. X. News. Business. Have your say. Good governance requires vigilance. Citizens must read beyond headlines, attend consultations, question inconsistencies, and demand accountability, regardless of which party forms the government. Silence is not neutrality, it is permission. If we value our democracy and the rights secured through decades of effort, we must remain attentive and engaged. The cost of indifference may ultimately be the gradual loss of freedoms we can never afford to surrender.
Wow.
Send comments and feedback to dentona22@gmail.com.
Very good article, and that are facts. Everything that was said there, 100%. 100%. Next article I wanted to share with you, very important as well, in terms of the conversation. David Mullins, the reality of Jamaica diaspora returning home. Mighty God. This is a hot topic. Since the Prime Minister going to say, oh, well, you know, we want to encourage those people to come back home. Well, let's see what...
Prime Minister Andrew Holness
Let's see what they're
is
saying.
encouraging Jamaicans in the diaspora, people like me, to return home to live and work in Jamaica, thus contributing to economic development and population growth. It is not the first time that we overseas Jamaicans have been encouraged to turn a brain drain into a brain gain, and my years serving on the Jamaica Diaspora Advisory Board, the predecessor of the current Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. The experience of moving back 3 times and now being on the island every month for a week or more to conduct business informs this column, which is meant to rip off the Band-Aid and discuss the realities of the Jamaican diaspora returning home. And realities that prevent many from doing so. Vision 2030 Jamaica is the national development plan for the country, and the national vision statement is to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Yet almost none of the medium-term socio-economic policy framework reports that were to track the progress of the various national outcomes have been published every 3 years. The last one that I have is from 2009 to 2012.
What?
Before you can ask someone to pick up and move back home, you must understand why they initially moved and what has kept them from coming back. Most people I meet in the diaspora are surprised that I spend so much time in Jamaica, much less invest in Jamaican companies, because they have personal frustration stories about dealing with setting up a business, opening a bank account, addressing GCT, and getting work done in a timely manner. Financier David Mullings, founder, chairman, and CEO of Blue Mayho Incorporated, photo, contributed. These complaints are only a surprise to people with their heads in the sand, because Jamaica's low productivity and poor customer service are well known. The Forward to Vision 2030 Jamaica was written by then Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Wesley Hughes, and it had 2 sentences that always stood out to me for their honesty. Many social and economic problems pre-exist the current crisis. Partly due to our neglect of long-term issues, our nation has suffered from inadequacies since achieving independence in 1962, which has led to poor GDP growth performance, high levels of debt, unacceptable levels of unemployment and poverty, crime and violence, low levels of skills, weak infrastructure, and uncompetitive industries that produce low-value commodities. Important issues that emerged during the consultation phase were 4: greater access and opportunities, efficient delivery of health, education, justice, and security services, a more inclusive society which fosters a greater sense of hope, particularly the young, greater development of rural areas, protection of the environment, and a strong desire to preserve the positive transformational aspects of our culture and heritage. These still resonate today, and as someone who has moved home 3 times and worked in corporate Jamaica, I can relate to the concerns many Jamaicans abroad have, although I do think that more progress has been made than many realize. Let's go through the complaints versus the progress that is desired. High levels of debt. Jamaica was drowning in debt, with high interest rates stifling business investment and starving the private sector of capital by offering insane rates on government debt due to the inability to borrow from abroad. That has been solved to the point that Jamaica is now a global case study on how to execute a debt exchange without causing hyperinflation or collapsing an economy. Unacceptable levels of unemployment and poverty. Jamaica now has the...
And let's give the credit to who deserves it. Mama P. Portia Simsimila. When just talked about a while ago? Mama P, Portia Simsimila and the People's National Party did that. Yeah, man. We're not going to pass over that, you know. And we're not going to make nobody take the credit where they're not for take. Just like how you can't blame the PMP for things, give them the credit where they deserve, ladies and gentlemen. Am I right or am I right? That's a rhetorical question. Obvious.
Lowest unemployment level since independence, as measured using the same standards of developed countries. We are now more focused on the quality of the jobs and the pay than the unemployment rate, and that is a good thing. Poverty continues to trend down, with Hurricane Melissa significantly impacting that trend. An aerial view of crime and violence. The single biggest...
Hold on there. Lowest unemployment level since independence, bro. You need to fix that. You can't compare previous unemployment to now. You know why? Because the context matters. The mode or the formula used to calculate unemployment has changed. If you work 1 hour a week, you're considered employed. I can't let that slide. No, I cannot let that slide. If you work 1 hour a week, ladies and gentlemen, you are considered employed. That was not the case when independence. No, that's not the case. It's a lunch and dinner. And it ration. None no left. Anyway, you cannot do that. So that right there needs to be put into context. You cannot say lowest unemployment level since independence. We can't do that. It's not something to... No, we cannot do it. We should not... It's borderlining dishonest. If you don't put the right context to it, it's borderlining dishonest. He goes on to say, measure using some standards of developed countries. We are now more focused on quality of jobs and the pay than the unemployment rate. Well, that's another context to it. That's another context to it. The quality of jobs. Remember, you know, unemployment described in Jamaica, if you're not seeking a job, you're not considered unemployed, you know, which is asinine. That's madness. If you're not seeking a job in Jamaica, you're not considered unemployed. And for the person that are already employed, the quality of jobs that they have is very low. It's not something to boast about, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you. Poverty continues to trend down. Where? In a Jamaica? Where inflation's high? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. A Hurricane Melissa, it was not trending down before Hurricane Melissa. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Hear this now.
Complaint that I used to get at Diaspora events was the crime rate, murder rate specifically, and the lack of feeling safe in many parts of Jamaica, especially Kingston. While some argue that the numbers are fudged, the reported crime rate and murder rate is down significantly.
I like how you put that, because we, based off of the numbers, then we know say them the numbers about crime rate down not accurate. No apology. None. Mr. Will Rattigan exposed that the other day upon him program fully. The man them a redact certain numbers and I take with this, like say you know add to the death toll and them something there. So all crime rate for down here take out things and I put wipe out pan this apart. No brother. For them crime rate statistics is not credible in my eyes. And if you should do a little bit of the looking into the evidence, you will see that I'm actually right. You understand?
Significantly, and I attest to feeling much safer in Kingston when I am there each month. Feeling safe is even more important than the numbers being reported.
Brother, I don't know where you are talking about, but feeling safe where? Where? Kingston? That's a false sense of safety, my brother. Can tell you that right now. Very false safety, sense of safety. A true. But let's continue.
Reported. Yes, many of us are concerned by the high number of extrajudicial killings.
This is a labor right. When you start a sentence, you say many of us are concerned about the high number of extrajudicial killings. Me I hear one butter come somewhere. Make we hear myself.
Killings because it could be one of us or a family member one day, and we await the body cameras being deployed so that we can strengthen our trust in the police force. If you come from some areas of Jamaica, you do not trust the police, and that is just a fact. Migrating from that area to the US, UK, Canada, or another country does not erase your lived experience before you left, nor the stories your friends on the ground are sharing. I grew up in Kingston 6, so my interactions with the police were positive, but I recognize that my lived experience is quite different from the majority of Jamaicans who used to be asked to left or right when being pulled over and at risk of receiving a ticket.
Better believe it.
My interactions with members of the force over the last 12 months have been so good that I now have friends with whom I feel confident hanging out for a drink. Low levels of skills. This continues to be a...
This a man I lived experience is truly not that of the majority of Jamaicans. Yeah man, businessman, you know, having money, you know, truly not the lived experience of most Jamaicans. I'm sorry. But let's continue.
A real problem, and it explains why the Chinese companies have been able to win so many construction jobs.
Huh?
Local Jamaicans all have the same reason.
This continues to be a real problem. Low level of skill. Oh, in terms of Jamaica. Okay, I get it. I get that.
Reasons, and it is more about the attitude of Jamaican workers than just their skill.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that totally. Totally. What they're doing for the Chinese in Jamaica, they are not doing for the builders in Jamaica. They're not doing it. Certain concessions they're making for the Chinese, they're not making for the builders here.
Skills. The eat a food mentality is still too rampant in Jamaica, and once you live and work abroad, you have even lower tolerance for shoddy workmanship and poor work ethic.
Yes, there are some that have shoddy workmanship and poor work ethic, but that's not the broad scope of it. And we've seen shoddy workmanship from the Chinese. Just look at Edmund Ridge. Paper walls. Hurricane come blow it up. Millions of dollars feet. What are we doing? Do I need to go back to those tapes? Like seriously. Maybe I know what I'm going to.
Weak infrastructure. Kingston to Ocho Rios in 45 minutes and Montego Bay to Kingston via a Knutsford Express for $20 US in under 3 hours still surprises Jamaicans abroad when I tell them. You can tell who hasn't visited Jamaica recently and hasn't kept up with the highway development. Yes, there is...
But if you talk about highway development, a PMP that, bro. All of the high structural roads in Jamaica, where transform time in a travel at the PMP. And those have, I mean, when you look at the other roads, they have not been maintained well down the Jamaica Labour Party. There's actually a road crisis. No. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Staunton to Ocho Rios in 45 minutes and Montego Bay to Kingston via a Knutsford Express for $20 US in under 3 hours still surprises Jamaicans abroad when I tell them. You can tell who hasn't visited Jamaica recently and hasn't kept up with the highway development. Yes, there is more work to do, especially with the rest of the roads, drainage, timely repairs of potholes, sewer lines, and so forth. However, Jamaica in 2026 is far different from the Jamaica I left in 1996, or the Jamaica I returned to in 2000, 2005, and 2008.
You sound like a labor right. Notice a specific date then. Different how? Jamaica is not in a bit. Want to the medicine one. The medicine water. You want to soak something and soak? What do you mean they don't throw water upon it? I don't understand what you're saying. This man look like he want JLP apologies. There's some truth in the way I say, but 2000 and 2000 who was the government 2008? Who did change that time?
2008. Prime Minister Andrew Holness stands on the new leg of the Southern Coastal Highway. While I left Jamaica for educational opportunities in the U.S. and have moved back home multiple times to play football with Real Mona FC and work at Jamaica National, most people I have met abroad moved for economic reasons. That is where greater access to opportunities comes into play, because encouraging Jamaicans abroad to move back home hits a wall. The cost of living is not that much lower than in a developed country, but the salaries are far lower. It does have a better quality of life in some areas, but worse in other areas, so it comes down to the trade-offs a person is willing to make. If you have young children and are not able to get them into the 15 best schools across the island, then you are going to be worried about resources and behavior/socialization. If you do not want to produce your tax returns from abroad, then it is much harder to get a loan to buy a car when you have been away and apply for that loan, which means using the bus service in the places it is available, or the expensive taxi alternatives. Driving in Jamaica is also not for the faint of heart, and each time I see taxis make the same illegal moves in the exact same turn lanes, I question whether or not Jamaica is actually serious about addressing an obvious problem. The indiscipline in society is shocking, but it stands out more to those of us who are used to something different. Healthcare. Healthcare is raised as a major concern, with hospitals taking significantly longer to be upgraded. Constant social media and WhatsApp appeals for blood to be donated in the name of a specific person or stories about trying to find a working MRI machine send the wrong message. It seems that politicians and wealthy Jamaicans can just fly to Cayman or Miami, so they can't relate to what the masses actually deal with. If we return to Jamaica, we will be getting older, not younger, so healthcare is one of the biggest concerns, and that has not been satisfactorily addressed. Photo, dreamstime.com. Jamaica has advantages and disadvantages like anywhere else in the world, and once you have a US, UK, or Canadian passport as well as work experience, you have far more options to consider. And where your navel string is buried does not carry as much weight as the Prime Minister would like it to carry. The reality is that some of us can move back to Jamaica and thrive, me being an example, but many others do not have the same experiences that I had, nor have they maintained their social networks in Jamaica, so it isn't just moving back home for them. It is truly a reset, a new beginning in a vaguely familiar country. As someone actively considering relocating to Jamaica once again, I will use my next column to share my thought process so that local Jamaicans can understand what some of us in the Jamaican diaspora are actually looking for in order to make Jamaica our home base.
Some things in there I disagree with. I feel like this person here is either them is an uptown person, so they don't really understand what it is like for people not on that level. You understand what it means to be profiled. So I'm not go too hard on the person who write the article still. You know what I mean? I'm not go too hard on it. For the most part, sound arguments. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Moving on to the next article. This is Sagicor X Fund delivers historic year surpassing $1 billion profit. Sagicor are going with things, ladies and gentlemen. Sagicor are going with things.
Core Real Estate X Fund Limited closed the 2025 financial year with a landmark performance.
Listen
achieving
this.
record profitability of 1.01 billion Jamaican dollars, representing year-over-year growth of 121%. The group's strong performance was driven by a 70% improvement in net profits from core operations, which jumped from 454.02 million Jamaican dollars in the prior year to 772 million Jamaican dollars at the end of 2025. The milestone year marks a pivotal step forward, reflecting disciplined execution, the strength of a diversified model, and sustainable earnings driven by stronger revenues and improved cost efficiency.
What you say?
Notably, X-Fund's strategy to expand its direct real estate portfolio with the purchase of investment property in September 2024 led to a higher profit contribution from commercial operations, reaching 11.2%, up from -7% last year. Hospitality operations continued to serve as a strong earnings driver with DoubleTree Orlando's, DTO, net profit increasing by 36% over the prior year, ending 2025 at 659.42 million Jamaican dollars. The hotel's results were positively impacted by higher occupancy levels and increased average daily rates. Revenue growth from hotel operations exceeded cost increases, indicating the effectiveness of cost containment initiatives to improve margins. Profits from other operating activities amounted to 236.31 million Jamaican dollars, a year-on-year growth of 233.62 million Jamaican dollars. This was driven by fair value and foreign exchange gains, along with capital gains from the redemption of an investment note. The robust performance of the investment portfolio was a result of the group's investment strategy and the prevailing macroeconomic environment. The continued easing of interest rates across capital markets resulted in lower interest income relative to the prior year. This performance is not just the result of favorable tailwinds, it's the outcome of deliberate decisions made consistently over time. Surpassing the billion-dollar net profit mark affirms that our strategy is working, our portfolio is resilient, and our focus on disciplined growth is translating into meaningful value for our shareholders, said Howard Mitchell, chairman of Sagicor X Fund. Earnings per share, EPS, grew to 45 cents in 2025, representing a 125% increase over the prior year's EPS of 20 cents. This result demonstrates a positive upward trajectory in continuous quarters. Additionally, the company generated positive cash flows of 922.59 million Jamaican dollars from its operating activities, reinforcing its financial resilience and capacity to pursue future growth opportunities. X-Fund's share price closed in 2025 at $8 with a market capitalization of 17.94 billion Jamaican dollars.
Wow.
As we reflect on the year's performance, I am proud of how the group translated resilience into results, delivering growth amid dynamic global tourism patterns and evolving economic conditions. Despite regional challenges, including the impact of Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, our portfolio remains robust, with only a 1% exposure to Jamaican real estate through our Sigma holdings, said Mitchell. We continue to benefit from strong performance in international tourism, stable investment yields, and high occupancy rates across our holdings. We look forward to the future with optimism while remaining committed to exploring opportunities that meet our return thresholds and, at the same time, supporting recovery efforts, he added. 2025 financial year performance business outlook Doubletree Orlando Howard.
So, Sagicor are going good. Sagicor X Fund are going good. I don't know if they can teach the government something about growing the economy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know Rasta. But them are going good, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we now? Okay. Alright, so the Observer. Oh my God. What is patient's plea meets public rage? KCMC says phone lines down as frustration mounts over enforcement failures. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I'm going to go on X and I'm going to see what them people and them wicked people they are going with. Let me see what them wicked people they are going with, ladies and gentlemen. I know them wicked people up on the station. Yeah. Dubai airport right now. Man. Whoa. Everybody are trying to fly out of Dubai? Damn. People look on Dubai airport. Look there. When I see that? Damn. No, this is crazy. Wow. Wow. 32 minutes ago? What is this? The Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum says continued unusual warmth in tropical North Atlantic Ocean implies the occurrence of severe weather activities as soon as April in southern Belize, the Guineas, the Greater Antilles, and the mountainous areas of the Lesser Antilles. Mighty God.
Right over here, look at Bamboo River. This is where the gully would be. Right now, we don't know the gully different from everything level off.
Oh my God.
Right over here, look at Bamboo River. This is where the gully.
A man say that's where the gully is.
would
And you can't tell the gully from the regular part of the road because the water has come up so high. Mighty God. Climate change, ladies and gentlemen. The southerlies. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the world. As I tell you, sometimes you have to go on X for the news, You understand? United States President Trump on Monday said he's not ruling out sending U.S. troops into Iran while threatening a new big wave of attacks. Damn. The horse gone through the gate already still, The United States and Israel pulled the trigger, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared for what is to come. And for what is to come, be prepared. Yeah, them done pull the trigger already. United Arab Emirates said it would resume limited flights at Dubai and Abu Dhabi airports on Monday. Cancelled after Iran began strike. So the people in Dubai is trying to get out of Dubai. War. Some people benefit from war, but more people lose. More people lose. It's always more of a negative. Offshore oil test enters defining phase as island energy stakes rise. Now, let me tell you something. This could not have come at a worse time for Jamaica. Best and worst. There's always a positive and negative. I look on it on the worst side. The way Trump move and war going on. You are tell me say if Jamaica discover oil, Trump not gonna have an hype on Jamaica? Brethren, I'm telling you something. I want a dangerous time we're living in here. See that? Observer. See that? It's in the defining stages, right? Of getting of oil discovery. Pretty much. Joanne, if you're watching, God bless you. Just get your message, my darling. Thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, it is sad, of course, Ivan. I know that I'm a person that always wants to see peace. Peace be the order of the day. I am never the one to try and, Selva, what you doing? I'm never the one to try and escalate a terrible situation. Never the one to do that. I'm never the instigator. right? My utterances have always been guided by maintaining peace. And this is why no matter how you doing, Nikki Goodas, no matter how egregious Andrew Honest is towards the people of Jamaica, I have always given the people example of them rising up, doing legal things to get this man out of office. That's why I was so disappointed with the people on September 3rd. Because that was a legal opportunity. Albeit that we believe that they stole the election. I believe if the people of Jamaica came out into more numbers, they couldn't have stolen the election. That's what I believe. You understand? That's what I believe. But Joanne, thank you so much, my darling. Got the donation. And that reminds me, guys. Hey, Andrea. Remember on Bolo V&R 2.0, the super chat is open. Alright. Alright, let me pause this. My God. Super chat is open, the cash app is there. Alright. Super chat is open, the cash app is there. Zelle is there, all of that. If you want to bless the platform, alright? And them give gifts on YouTube to know, like TikTok, Who knew? So if you want to give gifts, the option is there, guys. Joanne, I can't listen to your voice note right now, but thank you, I am live. I want to say thank you. You're one of those angels of this platform that from time to time bless up the platform. Oh, there you are. Joanne, me just said one voice note a while ago. Remember, Yah will must be done and accomplished. Only him will remove Andrew. He is a puppet and a plan. Yes, 100%. But I was just making the point that me personally, I am not an advocate for violence. I am always an advocate for peace. It has always been my MO. I have been in situations or been in places where the situation happened that it's chaos. And for some reason, I am usually the calmest person in the room while as active as possible and vigilant as possible. Abina, how you doing? Good to see you. You understand? And my MO is always to solve the problem and de-escalate the situation. And let me say this. If me and you in the same space and you see things that escalate and you see me walk away, you better you walk away too. Normally when I leave somewhere, in my experience on this earth, and I move away from the scene, things escalate and get ugly. The spirit tells me to move, that means to not endanger myself. I need to come out of this situation because it's about to get crazy. Normally, that's what happens. So if you see me in real life and you see me moving away from a situation, move away from the situation. I'm telling you. My instincts is like that. Move away from it. Me can't smell when things are going to get out of hand. Spiritually, yeah, that's my experience. I can smell it. Yo, you know what? Let's get the hell out of here. This ain't it. You know what I'm saying? This is not it. This is not it at all. Anyway, moving on to the next situation. The war there in Iran. What is this? Starlink said Monday that it plans to begin launching next year its second generation satellites that will allow direct to cell service without passing through ground antennas. Starlink is expanding, ladies and gentlemen, as we knew they would. You hear that? Direct to cell service. Cell phone? You know them places where you hard to get a signal? Yo, hey, I can't hear you. I call you back. Internet? Yeah, direct to cell. They must step up. Starlink is gonna expand, you know. In these years where war are going, Starlink are gonna expand. These years where disaster happen, who is actually helping? Are in the position to help? Forget communication. Starlink. I may tell you, over Iran busy. A big Iran news, brother. Pure Iran news. Chronics perform well, man. Long time Chronics not busy, you know. I want to veteran them now. Oh, this basketball, okay. Sangster's International Airport revenue dipped 2/5 due to Hurricane Melissa. What do you think I got happen to Sangster's International Airport now? What are you doing, Matthew? Matthew, what you find me on TikTok, but I'm not seeing it on YouTube? Matthew, remember say you're original YouTube, you know? I want my YouTube audience stay on YouTube, you know? I want my YouTube audience. Listen me, man. Only if me depend on TikTok alone. You understand? You understand? Dana, how you doing, Dana? What do you think is going to happen to Sangster's Airport, ladies and gentlemen? I think Sangster's Airport is going to dip more. 2/5? 2/5 is too close to half of the whole. So 2 parts out of the 5 parts is lost in profit. That's because of Hurricane Melissa with Sangster's Airport. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get worse. With the war, it's going to get worse. The war in Iran, it's going to get worse. I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. I have to big up a nice, clean self. Mighty God. Thank you so much, darling. No wonder you don't want to come on TikTok, you just show off with the picture, so. You just show off with the picture, so. Mommy? Mommy? What is going on out there, so? Me hear some nice. Some rattling in our kitchen. I don't know nobody. I wonder if I want to post them. Sweets 142. How you doing, my baby?
Where you hear the noise?
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
Yes. I heard some plates or something like that, or some tiles. Something moving, you know what I mean? Hey, let me tell you something. One next thing to have to look out for that the apostle talked about. A shutdown of the internet, a blackout. Things are intensifying. Both countries that have been hit so far are allies of Israel. Not Israel, allies of China and Russia. Venezuela and now Iran. Iran is the bigger of the two, and both of them are, where you say now, them deal with oil. Like oil-dominated economies. Oh, thanks for the heart. Oh my God. That's so beautiful. Thank you for the heart, Matthew. They are oil-dominated. I know they're going after Cuba. Cuba is right there on their list. But Cuba so close, man, like, Cuba, just, we don't really need no excess. No, we don't really need no excess type of with you. Man, them have Cuba up on the back burner, yo, man, I tell you. Man, listen. It's gonna be something, ladies and gentlemen, this year. 2026, boy. But Sangsters International Airport, it's gonna get worse. It's going to get worse. I am sorry to say. The vacationing and traveling, with what's happening in the Middle East, I have to say I'm now on YouTube. Well, and how comes you no moderator over here? So, oh, this is the other channel. Make you a moderator, Ati. Big up yourself. Alright. Let me see what else is in the news. Why? Jamaica. You know, Jamaica is being humbled, you know. I was thinking this morning. Jamaica is being humbled. Jamaica is under serious judgment. We are being humbled. I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. Because it's consequences for what the leadership has not done. What has the leadership not done? Follow God's instruction. Simple, put, easy. For the last 10 years, they have gotten the exact same word from the men, from God, through the men and women of God. We need 3 days fasting, prayer, and repentance. And the man then refuse. Andrew Honest refuse. Did you see the video? Putin saying Trump's son is going to be the Antichrist. What? There's a lot of ideas about who the Antichrist is going to be. But there's 2. There's 1 consistent name that comes up. And I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Trump life been under threat, you know. Remember, said then they lick off him, you know. Remember, said then they lick off him. So, for him life been under threat, so. You know, say now even more. And according to the apostle, there are certain things that has been happening with Trump that nobody is privy to. They're keeping it hush hush. It's not every attack they publicize. According to the apostle. This is not thus saith the Lord. This is not my word. Everybody knows where I stand with Trump. You understand? I understand the good and the bad. Trump is more of an open book than most politicians, you know. You can't even call Trump a politician. Trump is a businessman. He is more open than most politicians. Becoming the president of the United States, you inherit certain things that is bigger than the president. And that inheritance is a relationship with Israel. And that relationship is what caused this war. The relationship that the United States has with Israel is what caused this war. Israel is the influence behind this. There's no 2 ways about it. Whether you want to say that's right or it's wrong, the truth, the facts of the matter is, that's what it is. Manhunt for spouse accused of firing at cop in St. Elizabeth. Yo, brother. Who in a the right mind a fire for police in a 2026? Who good on alright? Brother, wanna put on your gun, brother. Change your life. Look to God. Me I tell you no. This is not the time. The devil want no blood. And the police then willing to take on 3 points. Put down the gun and look to the Most High. I saw a story in the Star. You know, so I'm gonna play it too. It's a very powerful story, you know. Yeah. See a story in the Star of a convict, a former convict, a changing life and giving life to the Most High. And I hope that, you know, I hope that he's sincere. I hope that he's sincere, and all power to him. Just go out of prison and him talk about, you know, him giving him life to Jesus Christ. Surrendering him life to Jesus Christ. And I said, wow, that's powerful. You know what I mean? And the man there, see there? There's a video though. Where's the video? There's a video, man. There's an interview with him. Did I put it on my page? I don't remember now. May I see if it share up on my page. No, I not see it. Anyway, the brethren give him life to the Most High, you know. This article I have to read. This is serious. Still in limbo, engineers reported pending as uncertainty lingers for flood hit Estari residents. Why Estari residents? Chantel, what's up, baby? Oh, what do you moderate? Well, all moderators, it's quite simple. Keep the chat engaged, welcome new people, encourage them to hit the like button and share. Alright? And turn up on the donations. The last part is, remind them, you know. The last part, you know. But liking and sharing is free. Donating, you have to use your money. Alright? Yeah, so liking and sharing is not an option. It is mandatory if you support the platform. Let's let it go. Yeah! I think so. Anyway, let's read this.
Months after Hurricane Melissa sent floodwaters surging through sections of Phase 2 of the estuary in Friendship, St. James, several homeowners say they remain burdened with loss, displacement, and uncertainty as they await word on whether they will be allowed to return home. Residents contend that the flooding was exacerbated when a section of roadway collapsed, obstructing a primary drainage channel. Homes were left waterlogged, furniture destroyed, and mold spreading throughout interiors. Several families were forced out and left traumatized.
People don't know what that means. The flooding never had to be that bad. What's up, hot and spicy, Janet? The flooding never had to be as bad as it was. If it wasn't for the collapsed roadway. Mighty God. You rough enough? Sweets. Oh, Sweets. I was talking to the people on YouTube. But if you have Cash App, that's my Cash App right there. On TikTok. And of course, when you guys send gifts, that's like donating, because the gifts cost some, depending on what kind of gift you send, it costs some money. Whether cents, 1 cent, 2 cents, half a cent. I don't know how much these gifts cost, but donations, I was talking about YouTube. Alright, yeah. Because we have the Cash App over there, we have the Super Chat over there, the PayPal and the Zelle. Yes. Let's continue.
National Housing Trust, NHT, which developed the project in partnership with Wiccan Limited, has provided financial support and 3 months of temporary accommodation to affected homeowners, many of whom purchased their properties less than 5 years ago. However, some residents argue that communication has been uneven and that a permanent solution remains unclear. Ian White, who lived in the impacted area with his 3 children, said the house represented more than just a roof over their heads. That was the first house I owned that I was living in at the time, he said. I really loved it. When the floodwaters receded, White said, the extensive interior damage was revealed. Kitchen counters were ruined, furniture soaked beyond repair, drywall compromised, and mold had spread across walls and closets. In order for us to live comfortably again, they had to find somewhere to put us, he said. White has since been offered a temporary unit in Estuary Meadows, but has yet to move in fully as he awaits replacement furnishings under the NHT's Contents Assistance Program. For now, he has been staying with friends. It's very hard, he admitted. He explained that despite occasional financial challenges, there had been comfort in knowing he had his own space.
Exactly.
Losing everything feels like starting all over again, White told the Sunday Gleaner.
And that's the thing. People will be hungry and be okay with it, knowing that they have a solid roof over their head. They will bear the hunger. But you see, being homeless, yo, no man, that part there, the mental strain. That's why I appreciate the People's National Party so much, you know. In their manifesto that was designed with love, I appreciate it so much because they really understood the mission. One of the biggest mission for the People's National Party, one of the biggest missions of the People's National Party was to increase home ownership, because they understood owning your own home, owning a piece of land, there's a certain pride and dignity that comes with that. It elevates the individual. You feel me I deal with? You listen, them say encouragement strengthens labor, and it happens in many different forms, right? The fact say you can help a man to make it easier for him get piece of land. That man or woman or family automatically, with the right mentality, them start push out even more effort to be productive in the society. And that bodes well for any economy. That bodes well for any nation building. You know, the point of the matter is the People's National Party manifesto was investing in the people wholeheartedly. Tell a man, why?
Gleaner. Even so, he said the NHT has listened to his concerns, and he remains hopeful that an agreeable resolution can be reached.
Why that takes so long? Why pause? Interesting.
When the Sunday Gleaner spoke with him last Wednesday, White was painting the temporary unit. He described the new location as markedly different from the calm surroundings he had enjoyed in Phase 2. Over by Phase 2, it is so peaceful and quiet. This side is busy, bikes riding up and down, he said. White believes the flooding stemmed from the road collapse near the development. From my experience, the road caved in, blocked the drain that takes away the water, he explained. The pipe they were using for the drainage system is a big plastic pipe. When the road sank, it blocked the channel. so the water couldn't get out and it flowed back to the pond, causing the rainfall to flood the scheme.
Whoa, whoa. From his experience, the road caved in and blocked the drain. You remember, guys, when I was telling you about these earthquakes that have been hitting and how the earth is getting soft and how sinkholes can be there and I don't even know it? I saw a video of a city in America and a car was driving. Athy, I was saying that all you have to do is encourage persons to like the video from time to time and share the video. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just text me upon WhatsApp. I can send you a message where you can drop in the chat repeatedly from time to time. That is gonna do such a, and you interact when you have time. When you have time with persons in the chat, and you know the first time I seen them, hi, how you doing? You know, communicate with each other. Keep the chat moving. You know, have a rapport with each other. Yeah, man. Valerie, how are you? Blessings. My number. You have to tell me when you're ready to write it down. Because if you pay attention to Nightbot is a moderator in the chat. And Nightbot puts up my number. If you scroll, you will see a message where Nightbot put up. See there? To join my WhatsApp group, good people, please text join to 1-876-451-6535 and I'll add you. That is one of the messages that Nightbot puts out every 5 minutes. So anybody that want my number is always in the chat. 1-876-451-6535. That's 1-876-451-6535. Let's continue with the article.
About returning. Although some residents remain hesitant about returning, White said he would consider it if the drainage and roadway issues are resolved. If they fix the breakaway and the drainage system, I have no problem going back, he said. But some persons are really scared of another flood because of their previous experience. He also questioned the $5,000 monthly rental charge associated with temporary relocation.
Mighty God.
I don't think they should be charging us. It's not our fault, White.
So hold on, NHT are charging people $5,000 a month to relocate them. Man say I don't think they should be charging us because it's not our fault. Brother, them not go foot the whole cost. Tarifa, what's up? Them not foot the whole cost.
Said, noting that while a mortgage moratorium has been granted, payments are deferred rather than forgiven. In the meantime, I'm just working with them for now.
I don't think they should be charging us. It's not our fault. Noting that while a mortgage moratorium has been granted, payments are deferred rather than forgiven. Damn! So hold on there. Wait. So, the place will flood out. And more than likely I'll get flooded out again because of climate change. The people for this still have to pay mortgage. It's not deferred. What do you say? A mortgage moratorium has been granted. What does moratorium mean? I believe it means to pause or suspend temporarily. Moratorium, but I'm going to make sure I get the meaning for you. See, a temporary prohibition of an activity. So temporarily, the mortgage payment for the houses have been prohibited, that them pause it You see me? But NHT and them people, yo, the people them are saying should have forgive it. So I expect the people them after a disaster and everything, when I charge them $5,000 a month for relocation, then we still come pay on no mortgage after that. I wonder how long we're gonna have this moratorium. That is the question. That's the question. Let's continue.
Now, I'm looking and praying that they come up with some solution, he added. Another homeowner, firefighter Nicolette Jarrett, declined relocation and returned to her family home in Hanover while awaiting clarity. I am more interested in the permanent fix than a relocation right now, she told the Sunday Gleaner. Jarrett said she was among the first to receive keys to Phase 2 after earlier allocations in Phase 1 were rearranged. Having lived there since 2021 to 2022, she has invested significantly in upgrading her one-bedroom unit. I am about 80% complete with additions to the box, she said, explaining that she extended the back of the house to add bedrooms. My case is kind of special because I don't know what will happen to what I've done if we have to permanently relocate. Construction has since been halted. My construction is paused because I don't know if I will have to move permanently, she said. Every time we ask for an update, we hear next week about the engineer's report. Residents feeling abandoned. Jarrett said the uncertainty has left residents feeling abandoned. We are still in limbo. We are paying mortgage. We didn't beg for these units. We bought them, she said. For this to happen and all our furniture gone, it's like they're taking forever. She also raised concerns about inconsistent communication and the requirement for some relocated residents to purchase water for installed tanks. If 10 of us go there, 10 of us get 10 different answers, she said. At least keep us informed. Jarrett said she is dissatisfied with the NHD response and believes the agency is not acting with urgency.
Miss Jarrett, nothing in Jamaica. The government is not acting with urgency. All of it. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. Sandra, thank you for that. They're supposed to pay their mortgage, but not anything else. That's what you know.
Urgency. I believe NHD is just dragging us along. I don't think there's any urgency for a fix.
Mighty God.
They offer this, they offer that, but there's a lot of red tape, she said, noting she has not heard anything about peril insurance or the Hurricane Melissa grants being offered by the NHD.
What?
It's just taking too long. Even if it is taking long, if we were given frequent updates, we could at least hold on to that, to know they're telling us something. I know the process is ongoing, but give us some explanation. I don't believe they're moving quickly enough to even try to appease us a little.
Mighty God.
Sometimes we wonder what's happening and have to ask each other, did anybody hear anything?
Wow.
Has anybody gotten feedback? That's not acceptable. Another homeowner, Anita Williams, who was among several residents rescued from the floods by White, also described ongoing challenges. Rotated her stay. Among friends. Although she received her temporary unit last December, she has struggled to get electricity connected and said the water supply remains an issue in the newer section of the scheme. Since the hurricane, she has rotated her stay among friends. They promised to give us money to buy furniture, but we're still waiting. Even if the electricity comes on, I have no fridge or stove yet, so I'll have to wait until the funds arrive before I can fully settle in, she said. Williams said she does not wish to return to her original unit, describing the flooding as a recurring problem and admitting she remains traumatized by the experience.
PTSD.
She added that if offered a new unit, it would have to be at the same price she originally paid. Like other residents, she expressed frustration with communication from the NHD, but is preparing to occupy the temporary unit while awaiting a resolution. Initially, I was starting to get stressed, but I realized it was a blessing and not a curse. The rain is falling, and I'm not getting wet. We had a cold front, and I was warm, and I am grateful for that, she said. This is not a good...
Big up to this lady for that mentality. easy to complain. Sometimes it's harder for some people to see the blessings right in front of them. Them allow the one thing to block them from the blessings that is in front of them. Because them have the problem so close to them face, them can't see around the problem to see, oh my God, look at all this blessing. So shout out to her for that.
Situation for people. We just hope it doesn't take forever, Williams said. In response, Donovan Evans, regional manager at the NHT St. James branch, said approximately 35 residents were affected. About 20 accepted relocation offers, while others declined. Evans said 2 forms of assistance are available: a contents grant of up to $1.5 million to replace lost furniture and appliances, and a regular grant of $500,000 for structural repairs, such as roofing, cupboards, and doors.
Why? Wait. Yo. Wait, say ladies, so when people are going in their life, they start confessing their sins. Mighty God. So Horace Chang talk about himself in my project. Jeez, when I hear these people, Matthew, what go on? People are saying in the streets that Horace Chang are confessing sins them. When they talk about blood money. What can go so? Because him a go down in a life. Him have a weird way of doing it if that is the case. If that is the case, him have a weird way of doing it. Wanna listen to what Horace Chang say? There are several things in there that didn't make any sense whatsoever. Horace Chang said that when JFJ questioned police actually in our situation for question, it diminishes the younger police them confidence. I got you, Arthur, I got you. According to him, it diminishes the people what you say, Dr. Crab, I get senile. Me not tell no lie, you know. Me I watch Andrew too, you know. Yeah, me I watch Andrew too. With that same something the way I talk about. Yes. Me I watch him. We have to make sure so we keep an eye for our Prime Minister. You know, hello. I serious something. Me I watch Andrew very carefully. With that same mental something there. Yeah, man. Yannick, what go on? You good? Okay. Sorry. Let's continue.
Doors. He clarified that while a $5,000 monthly rental provision forms part of the legal arrangement, it is not being enforced, and grant funds will be transferred directly to residents' accounts. The engineer's report, which will determine whether the affected section of Phase 2 is safe for occupancy, is expected by mid-March or earlier, Evans said. If deemed unsuitable, permanent relocation will be pursued. He added that issues at temporary units, including mold, are being addressed expeditiously. Water tanks have been installed where piped supply is absent, and the damaged roadway is being repaired by the contractor. Responding to complaints about the pace of the agency's response, Evans said, "We offer relocation, make the units available, provide water, and have reached out to JPS, Jamaica Public Service Company, to ensure power. I am not sure what they mean when they say we are not moving fast enough." Tanisha.Mundell at
Yeah, for them response. They say, I'm not sure what they mean when they say we're not moving fast enough. Pretty much they're doing the best they can do. It's gonna be a long year, ladies and gentlemen. A long year of suddenlies. Suddenly this happened. Suddenly that happened. Whatever has happened. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, long time I don't listen to midday news. I walk on the midday news. TVJ. TVJ. On the edge in the Emirates. What yo?
Welcome back to Primetime News and a special welcome to viewers on onespotmedia.com as well as TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
Hi, Rose.
Massive bangs, missiles and mayhem. The reality facing millions of people in the Middle East, including Jamaicans, as US-Israeli forces continue to wage war on Iran. Jamaica's Foreign Affairs Ministry is warning citizens not to travel to the area at this time. But for those Jamaicans already in neighboring countries such as Dubai, they're praying and hoping for the best. Debris from missiles have already destroyed prominent sites in Dubai. Ramada Lyons spoke with a Jamaican hours after missiles hit the city.
Smoke rising near a port in Dubai amid Iranian counter-strikes in the region. It stretches ominously. A missile intercept heard over the country Sunday morning. The videos raising eyebrows for people around the world. So imagine the people there currently. Jamaican Ashia Thompson is one of them. Hailing from St. Elizabeth, the certified public accountant has been living in Dubai since 2024. She spoke to TVJ News 11 p.m. on Saturday.
In the Burj Khalifa,
this is what I'm about to say does not apply to this lady. I don't know anything about her, but this is what came into my spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, we must at all times remain humble. Lady Ninja, what's up? Sassy said, no, we have until August. Nah, daddy. Ladies and gentlemen, we must always remain humble. That's what came into my spirit. We must always remain humble. Hear what I said? Too often people got foreign and them dash them. What me say? Them left everything behind in Jamaica. No communication, no good standing with them family. Me not say if you take care of nobody, but I'm talking about, yo, them start act like them better than people. You hear what I said? And that's never favorable behavior. I don't recommend it. Remember somebody on the live and that loud, yeah?
was able to see and hear missiles in the distance. It was certainly unsettling in the moment, and those sounds are not something you ever fully get used to.
Overwhelming, gut-wrenching. She admits that amidst the turmoil, nerves took over.
I want to be honest by saying in the beginning that it was very overwhelming. I shed a few tears, but I quickly reminded myself who I am and whose I am. My faith grounded me, and being Jamaican, resilience is in our DNA. We come from a people who know how to stand strong in uncertain times. So that spirit combined with my faith has allowed me to navigate this season with calm and clarity.
Parts of the luxury city was left.
Always gotta look to God, man. Always gotta look to God, man. I'm telling you. That's the time when you most remember. Hey, man, listen. You are always in control, God. Always. You feel me? Hey, what? Man, you better recognize. You better recognize. What is this sure, Bolo? Huh? What? I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying you are sure? I don't understand that. Florence, what's up? Good afternoon, Florence.
There's been an orange glow from fires. Here, a drone crashes into the ground near a hotel. Gripping images, but Ms. Thompson says there's one thing causing some level of calm.
Authorities here in Dubai have confirmed that over 100 missiles were successfully intercepted, and that speaks volume about the...
What? Wait, what? Over 100 missiles were intercepted. Then suppose Dubai never have the interceptor missile. Damn.
shocking images, but Ms. Thompson says there's one thing causing some level of calm.
Authorities here in Dubai have confirmed that over 100 missiles were successfully intercepted, and that speaks volume about the country's level of preparedness, its advanced defense system, and its commitment to protecting residents.
Earlier, panic at the Dubai International Airport, smoke and dust, sirens blaring, people scurrying to safety. 4 people were injured. Now all flights in and out of the 2 main airports have been suspended until further notice. Ms. Thompson says since the start of the geopolitical tensions, mood shifted.
As a Jamaican living in Dubai, this season has been especially emotional for me because Dubai is known as one of the safest cities in the world, so experiencing regional tension right now is very heartbreaking.
However, she says there's a concentrated push to keep citizens updated with the happenings. This, as false reports, threaten to cause more panic and fear.
There has been clear communication thus far, strong security presence, and a very structured, calm response from leadership. So residents have been advised to really remain indoors, stay in safe areas, and just rely on official news sources right now because there is so much misinformation circulating online. So the atmosphere here in Dubai has been one of vigilance but not panic.
Dubai has a population of over 4 million people, and for the first time, they feel as though they're caught between a rock and a hard place.
With US bases located across the UAE, Dubai found itself directly affected by the broader conflict. As you know, with everything that's happening, Dubai is, not a city of war, but again, so happens to be in the crossfire with everything that's happening.
But hope isn't lost. Ms. Thompson says one thing louder than missiles and sirens is prayer.
I am, above all, just praying for peace, not just for Dubai, but for the entire Middle East. Just peace, stability, and protection for all at this time.
Jamaica's Ministry of Foreign Affairs says it's monitoring the situation in the Middle East. All Jamaicans in the region are being urged to exercise vigilance and to shelter in place as conditions may require. The ministry also advised Jamaicans to avoid all travel to the region at this time. Ramada Lyons, TVJ News.
Whoa. Man, that was actually 14 hours ago. I never saw that news clippings. Wow. Wow. Over 100 missiles, yo? Yeah. 100? I don't argue with disrespect anymore, no. I just block you. How do you come into somebody's house? This is my house digitally. And the first thing you do is to offer disrespect. Man, oh man, you gotta be a special type of stupid. Listen, I don't need your views that badly. I'm telling you. To tolerate disrespect just to have you view me, I'm straight. If you can't stop you from view me, But commenting, oh, you will not have that luxury. I tell you that right now. And anybody, I don't care what nobody want to say. I do not care what nobody wants to say. Everybody run their shit differently. All right? Everybody run their stuff differently. But I'm not going to sit here and allow somebody to continuously disrespect me on my platform while, what, just a few coins for you to view me? I should take disrespect from you? Man, you got to be shitting me. But you know what? Let me continue. It's terrible to leave a violent place going into somewhere known to way less violence, and it turns out to be way worse. I mean, even temporarily. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how long this is going to go for, but even if it's temporarily, they often say, yeah, man, they often say the people will be fleeing to the rock, and the rock will be seeking a hiding place. I never know say no for time out people, man. Me don't block that this money there already, I don't know time out with them. I block them. Yeah, man, I'm an executive I board over here, so I block them, man. No joke.
That's how residents describe a sewage overflow along Norman Manley Boulevard in West End Negril. They say it's a repeating issue. We hear their story and a response from the National Water Commission.
It's glitz and glamour at the resorts, but one criticism is that when any guest ventures here, it's not so attractive. One example, sewage water bubbling along the Norman Manley Boulevard in West End Negril. When I visited on January 29, 2026, there was no overflow, but this video captured before by residents shows it in action. The video shows a chair used to prevent motorists from making a splash.
Oh my God.
Chairman of the Negril Destination Assurance Council, Richard Wallace, says it's been a repeating issue.
That problem has been happening for a while now. However, that has been brought to the attention of NWC, and they told us that the reason for that is that there is a lift station that whenever there's no electricity, it causes that manhole to overflow.
How is it for residents who are front and center?
Yeah, mostly midday it come up, you know. So right now, come up, you know, probably when the sun hot, I don't know if when the water lock off around there, so also it come up. But when it come up, you can't take your breath out or something. For miles, you can't take your breath. Sometimes you run all 5, 6, 7 days, and sometimes you will see it come up for a couple of days same way, but it's like, it's no concern to the bigger heads them. I mean, I think so like a place like here, so now it's bad. It's a tourist attraction, and tourists are pass the same way we have to tell them, say, a sewage water don't make you catch them. We just rise and just run go to the sea, vehicle driving it, flash it up, vehicle run, come run it, accident here because out here. A 3 vehicle you know, drive night, so they know it's a mess. So then come on this side, so more time they can have the vehicle pass. And people can walk out here.
When contacted on February 3, 2026, the National Water Commission, NWC, said the sewage overflow was resolved. It said during the post-Hurricane Melissa restoration period, the plant has been reliant on a generator unit to maintain operations, as the generator experienced operational challenges. But following corrective action, it said normal operations were restored, and the affected section of the network is now functioning normally.
It is said that we have outgrown the existing sewage plant, and it definitely needs to be looked at because we worry about the sewage, the location of the existing plant, because it sits right beside the Negril River.
President of the Negril Chamber of Commerce, Damian Salmon.
That's a social issue. That's a health issue, and that also it even impacts the water quality as it's raw sewage leaking onto the reef and reducing the ecology.
In the meantime, the NWC added that it remains mindful of the environmental and economic sensitivity of the area and will continue to closely monitor operations to minimize the risk of recurrence. Romarda Lyons, TVJ.
Good reporting there. Improved services coming for Greater Portmore. Not that I don't want Angela, what are you doing? Not that I don't want Greater Portmore to get improved services, but the focus is just off, bro. Like, most affected areas is like Cornwall Regional Hospital down at the west side, like down there, so. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. Sometimes I don't understand these people, man. I'll be a running, I'll go on. Be a video with the running. Interesting.
Welcome back to Sports Challenge 2026. It's third round action and the scores are gentle technical.
I don't see anything from them. Let me go to Civic. Water leads the way. Matisa Muda. Fire in Hanover? Really? Police unalive 3 robbers in St. James are suspected robbers.
We're going now to a CVM exclusive with one of the prime witnesses of the fire dispute at a gas station in Westmoreland, which has left a woman battling for life. Colin Brown has aspects of her account, as well as a plea from the mother of the alleged aggressor.
Dacia Forrester lies incubated in hospital on a life support machine with stabilization of her internal organs, yet her third-degree burn wounds are deteriorating. Unknown to her, there are allegations and counter-allegations taking place online. While one of the 3 females pinned to the Fesco brawl is still unreachable in police lockup. And so you were released? Yes, I was released. And I had no choice. They said you're free to come, so you did not charge. That sigh of relief from Renisha Forrester, the burn victim's sister, speaking to CVM News exclusively. She was later transferred in handcuffs to a holding area at the Lucy station, but a statement was eventually taken from her in the grill last Sunday. And it was nothing good. I didn't know this consisted, I didn't know nothing. All I could think was whenever I'm shot me out of the pizza mercy. Our newsroom also heard from the gas station attendant's mother, who said she got the news while at a pharmacy.
When I see her, I even shocked more because she was bleeding from the face. And when I take her to the doctor, I was like, my God. I asked her, you eye blind? And he said, Mommy, I don't know.
Colette was reportedly injured during the fight between her and Dacia when things escalated at the gas station. However, our newsroom was told on January 27, also at the pump, both women had an argument after Dacia offered a $1,000 note to a male who was also a customer being attended to by Colette. She was reportedly giving him change in only $100 notes. Check out a problem right there and the 2 of them catch up. She runs when her mama take out scissors, run down the sister and the same gas pump to stop the sister with the scissors. And the same manager come up and call her. The matter was reported to the police and to the gas station. It's unclear if she was suspended, but she was away from the gas station until recently, only for them to clash again after making eye contact. Renisha says she was trying to ease the tension with help from the manager who came out to serve Dacia, but they could not get them apart. And they have it that she come when they called her, nothing like that. She went there to buy gas, and I said I come in with her. She going on. Also, there are allegations, seeing that you mentioned social media, so people escalated to say a man. Oh my God, a man this policy lighting by the way, what I am saying, what shocked me out? Is when the girl went in her pocket and took out the blue light out. What are you doing on a gas pump with a lighter in your pocket? But clearly, there are signs saying no smoking, no pain. What are you doing with a lighter in your pocket? Amid all the negative voices, with only a little over $8,000 raised so far, the mother of the attacker is pleading for assistance and leniency.
Help her, because it's another woman child. Reach out and help her if you can.
Colin Brown, CVM News.
So now here this Jamaica. I haven't really spoken on this topic. I just come across it a while ago because there's a lot of hearsay. They must say this, the victim I said that. We are hear things about the owner for the gas station and the girl used to work. I don't know what's true. This is clearly going to be a court matter that needs to be decided in the court. Now, what's going to happen, I have no idea, to be honest with you. Because all those variables, it depends on what is proven to be true. If it's proven to be true that the girl and her sister indeed actually fought that girl, and she's talking about why she have a lighter in her pocket. Suppose she smoke. She not have a lighter or cigarette on the pump, but she have her lighter in her pocket. Because that's where a smoker would put there. That was not a valid point. I'm just, that was not a valid point. That was not a valid point. That was truly not a valid point. It was almost as if she wanted to paint the girl as an arsonist because she had the lighter and she crazy. No. Taxi men go on the pump a lot of times with their lighter. As a matter of fact, some of these guys are really crazy. They be light their cigarettes on the pump. In a them car. I would never even trust or try that. Remember the song we say? Me nah on the head. Me got the gas pump figure light a big head. Jamaicans be doing that for real, bro. Jamaica, if you go to some of the gas stations and they have like a convenience store, people be walking out the convenience store standing. The pump is like, I don't know, 10 feet away and they're lighting their cigarettes or lighting their weed. And I'm like, yo, why? Why would you even, this is not just your life. Why would you even do that? You know what I mean? People be crazy out here, man. People be crazy out here. But I'm going to go. Andre's show starts now. And I have been on since 10. That means I've been on for 3 hours. Yup. Got a video coming out at 2:30. I have a video that I posted already. Check them out, y'all. Peace. For those on TikTok, make sure you come over to YouTube. TikTok be tripping, bro. TikTok be tripping. They went with a weapon, and that was her defense weapon. Hey, Carlene, I'm just saying. But I think I heard you saying here that she and the girl driving in one taxi together. I don't know. That story is weird, bro. You know what me really care about? Jaden Smith, the missing children, them. And that me care about. Them big grown adults that we are war them one another, whether over man or not. I don't care so much. I don't care so much. Don't want nobody to be dead, but you know what I mean? My energy and focus will be on the kids. That's where my energy and focus will be. Feel like I'm gonna take a nap. See y'all later, man. Appreciate y'all. That's my time. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for giving me your ears. Joanne, thank you for the donation again. Big up to all my donator them. I love you know. You understand? I love you know. I don't know any Colleen. I don't know. Big up all of my TikTok ladies them. I love you know. Sassy D. Big up yourself. Later, yeah. Yeah, human trafficking, man, listen. Lord of mercy.